the top of
I
it.
do that before the final.
Okay.
I think that's, I think we just need to address it.
Yep.
Or
Evening. Sorry, I saw everybody walk in. I didn't say hi to anybody.
I see no that Appleton have a problem with you guys. I have all the email. We have problems.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
So if anybody needs an agenda, just to let you know, they're right there when you walk in the door on the console.
Yes. Yes.
Hey, I just pulled up to the clubhouse and there's a meeting going on. So if anybody's waiting for the Teams meeting to start, like it's just not apparently, but there's a whole bunch of people sitting in there.
Thanks, Alex. Good to know.
No problem. I'm going to go yell at somebody.
Thanks.
What's up? I'm going to put everybody on speakerphone.
But so you're just understanding what made for this place. Why did it come up randomly? Something that triggered a reason. Just wondering what would have caused this.
I could certainly allowed to say something if I want. Can everybody hear it now?
He's actually streaming it right now.
Yeah.
So what I'll say to that for me is last meeting, what you're seeing now went on the first 15 minutes. Huh?
Yeah, speak up. Talk. Tell them you're on the meeting.
Yeah, yes, I am. Right here.
And so, and
Here now.
If it's coming, sounds like it's coming through now. If you shut that off, the feedback.
Okay. All right, I'm going to mute mine.
Okay, can everybody hear me now?
And ask Andy.
Yes.
I can hear you.
Good. Okay. Yes. Yeah. No, we'll have a general public comments.
Having said that, I'm a huge proponent of DNA and for none of these, mainly the know that you may get any but if we can listen to more against it makes the third meeting last meeting, it was one of 2 or 3 people that were still on the piece when this came. I didn't ask when we lived for this. It happened so quick. It seemed like it was a predetermined deal. There was already a deal made. This story. So how fast it was. There was working with no discussion, and there's certainly, Kevin, you just gave an explanation why you voted for it. Yeah. Motion by Ronald, and the two of you, Reed and William, said no. So what we took is, there was, not only exactly, it wasn't on the agenda, so nobody had to talk about it. Oh, in fact, no, there was really no explanation. And in my view, whole, despite the technology, where the new ability, I think we need it. I think it could be not me, but a lot of people in the room would want to see it continue. And I understand the outside. No doubt, you have to be for them. Like it in the same. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Jim.
Is that, that's for part of the.
I don't think it's required to be reported. I think it's reported for purposes of making sure the minutes are accurate, because somebody from Andy's office has to read the minutes, and then having a recording, I think is, but I'm not aware of a statutory requirement that they do.
So I don't know what direction you come from, left or right.
The and then the Detroit,
Okay,
the black, it would be next, so either one of you.
okay. Appreciate it. Okay, sir.
She doesn't, isn't alive. But when she does, then she has something I can. I just came from. I don't understand. I get it. So I get it. I understand. But again, I'm still and I
Okay, thank you. Yeah, I saw you put your hand up. I apologize. Can you just state your name? Okay, thank you. Yep. No worries. I'm going to go over that. Like I said, I want to make sure we get all the questions in. Yeah, I'll go over all that. Okay. So, sir.
Yeah, one we do screen now. BDI recently admitted, and he can get it here. So, everybody, there will be left. So, so please keep the stream for the rest of us. We're getting along. We work on getting the streaming equipment, the camera, the microphone.
Thank you. Ma'am, did you have any comments?
So
So I think they usually mention, but it is something that I don't see on continue it, so it is possibly. Like I've got cheese, but we're not seeing so that we have people. So I see that there's more than something with the data increase, and I think that was embedded. So everyone's like in the dark, you know, but it's not communication. But then, but that's really so they having something out once after that, and then we'll be able to communicate and be involved in the then like I said, if it's doing stuff that's going on in Facebook and it's not accurate, then it's do it. I'm saying, and you know, coming in, I don't want to be somebody to I think it's acting and it's common things.
Thank you. Sir, did you have an opportunity right behind Jim? Okay. And ma'am, I know you had a question about the meeting notification, but did you also want to speak to the Teams dial and virtually that sort of thing as well? Okay, fair enough. Thank you. Did I miss anybody in the room? This is audience comments about the teams. We're going to do general audience comments next. We'll get there in just a second. Okay, so I honestly don't remember if you did. We still have people on the Teams call as well. So I just want to be fair to everybody. Is there anybody in the room that hasn't spoken though that I missed or we missed? Okay. Okay, so on the Teams call, just so I can do this in some sort of order, if you want to raise your hand and then I'll call out your name and you can go ahead and unmute yourself and speak. Is everybody hearing me okay? Okay. Victoria Ramirez, go right ahead.
Hi, I was just asked to attend. I got a notice. I don't know.
Okay. Victoria, we're gonna get to that very shortly here. This right
Okay.
now, we're just taking comments on the remote access to the meetings, but we will get to you very shortly, I promise.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Was there anybody on the Teams call that wanted to speak specifically to the remote access to the meetings issue? Okay, I'm not seeing any additional hands. So let me close that out for a second. The question about the meetings that came up. So what we do is a couple things. We have a notice of the meetings that's on the district website. We also do advertisements in the newspaper, which, you know, a lot of people don't get newspapers these days, but I think our main source is basically in the newspaper. One other thing that we do for this community is at the beginning of the week, I think it's on Monday, we send out an e-blast to anybody that has their email registered that basically says, hey, this is the week that we're having the meeting on Thursday at 5 o'clock. So that's just another method that we do. So, and if anybody's not on that particular email list, you can sign up on the front page of the website. There's a QR code that you can basically sign up for it. So that's the primary way that we kind of let folks know about the meetings. So, yep. Okay, so I do want to bring it back to the board, obviously, for any discussion, questions, comments you might have.
I will distribute.
Okay.
For the record. I also requested that when change that to the schedule, public comment and supervisor requests be placed before the session to ensure residents have the opportunity to speak in advance. I also reviewed approximately 6 months of live stream data, basically since I came on board. That would show that the live stream attendance averages 3 to 4 individuals. Approximately 10 identifiable residents logging in over that period. Most were one-time or brief viewers. Consistent usage was limited to 3 viewers. And only one person ever provided public comment through the live stream, accounting for all live stream history. Residents continue to have the opportunity to be heard by attending meetings in person or submitting comments in advance on agenda items. Based on that information, I felt it was important to bring this back to discussion to the board and public to consider both data and feedback we received. I do want to close on a positive note. It's encouraging to see residents engaged and show up. My hope is that the same level of energy continues and it's focused on issues that matter most: safety, security, and protecting our values. Thank you.
Okay.
And then, correct me if I'm wrong. Right here. Understood it. And five, as a community, you should have things to worry about. It minimize the all transparency. Good quality video for everybody, actually, even though I'm required. But we're trying to make it even better. Good problem. There's a lot of things to be honest. I'm still going to be doing stuff like this, and I've seen a lot of them for everybody. Vendors, board members, everybody. Compared to the normal thing.
I would say it's emotional. My statute was not required.
Not currently, no.
Participation. Have a motion on the floor.
You do have a motion. I was going to say, is there a second to the motion?
Hey, Andy, I can't really hear. And actually the first like almost 20 minutes, nobody could hear on the team. So what exactly is going on and what's the motion?
Okay, so basically we are in the supervisor discussion of the issue, and the motion made by Rabah was to basically kind of amending the previous motion to make the remote access, or to have no remote access, including vendors, supervisors, anybody basically. So that was the motion. We had a second by Kevin for discussion. So now we're in the discussion phase, and obviously you can be a part of that, William, as well.
All right, yeah, as far as discussion on that, I mean, I find that to be a crock, and you know, other people have had reasons to attend remotely along the way, just like I have reasons to attend remotely today. And so I don't believe that shutting that off for the board, for vendors, or even for the community is something to even discuss when there's no cost impact and no burden impact for doing this. Supposedly we're getting better equipment so that way we can actually hear everything better and see stuff. So it's kind of going backwards with stuff when it's allowable, accessible, and of no burden or cost on the community. And it just appears to be trying to take away transparency of the board, which is something that we as the board have always said we were focused on and wanting, but we appear to be going backwards on transparency. So that just doesn't make sense. And So I don't understand why we're doing this and why we're trying to cut off our own hand, but go ahead.
Okay. So. For the most to be amended also proceed with documents so that they're clear with what
The motion was to remove remote meeting access for everyone, vendors, supervisors, as well as general public.
So my I'm just about at this point when we were playing God, I made a physical code asking what kind of people would tell you. You heard when the developer had the board, they had meetings at 10 a.m. Okay, and so obviously there were concerns. People couldn't come to the meeting. The poll winner was live participation at 6 p.m. So I motioned to, and the board agreed, change the meeting to 6 p.m. for the entirety of 2025. We had 0 attendance increase. So at the end of 2025, when we went to set the meeting agenda for time for 2026, supervisors recognized that there was 0 attendance increase and it was tougher on us, who also, as Robert said, have full-time jobs and are leaving our children games and other things to be here for hours on end of time for the community. There was no need for us to be able to meet at 5. So we could have been around there. And that's why we get 5.
Okay. And if you can hold your comments, just because we're with the board right now. Yeah. Any more discussion on this particular motion? Okay. Hearing none. All in favor?
A suggestion.
Oh. Okay.
Before you vote, as in sort of maybe a compromise. So from what I've heard, there are a lot of people that want the opportunity to listen on Teams and hear what's going on. There are concerns within the board, as we've seen tonight, that the technology is very difficult and it does create a lot of disruption during the meeting. Seen that, plenty of examples of that. And you're not required to have virtual meetings. What if we did this? What if we have a Teams option solely for people to listen? They would not be able to interrupt the meeting, ask questions. They can chat, and if Andy sees it and he wants to tell the board about it or whatever, he can. But the virtual attendance would solely be for listening in on the meeting. And if you want to come and speak on an agenda item, you should come or send one of your neighbors to make that comment. But if you just want to hear and know what's going on, you would have the ability to do that. So if you can't, you have to log on 5 minutes or so ahead of time to make sure that you can hear. And let, you know, and we're not going to be dealing with technology issues during the meeting. If you can't hear and you logged on 10 minutes late, sorry, we're going to mute everybody so that we won't get the feedback and all the noise in the background, but people would be able to listen. Is that a possibility?
See this? If we did that, that would be next month. Petition that we are giving access, but not giving the right to buy that. But that's my thought on that. Yeah. We have them over here.
If you can hold it. Hey, folks, we had. Okay, we had, sir. I would. Yeah. Suspended. In favor? Meeting is suspended. We suspended, so technically we're getting them suspended, so they need to talk about it. Yes. So if you have to call the police, we call the police. So. Because what they're doing is I mean, if you do. That's about it. So
Go back as most is, abstinence. There are some residents that came here for specific topics, that are on the agenda, so we want to make sure that's the right thing to do. So. Yeah, but we're gonna open that back up in just a second. Yes. Yeah, no, just suspend it for a little bit of time, but we're gonna get going in a second. All right. All right. No, it is what it is. It's cool. They need to really have sheriffs. If you're gonna have somebody that refuses to, I mean, I can only yell at them so much. They're allowed back in, but yeah, I mean, that's what it comes down to. Yeah, he's still out there, so. All right. So you already have voted, that issue is done for now. So. All right, so we're gonna reconvene the meeting. Yeah, we'll wait for her. Thanks. Yeah, because we're gonna talk about some of the other items. Michelle. Yeah. So this might be a good time, because we won't need Michelle for this at all. You have your steadfast vendor here. If you want to briefly talk to the board about the project you were working on and obviously board feedback, that sort of stuff. So we don't have to backtrack in-house. Okay, fine. Well, what? The drainage issue is being caused by this drainage. The thing from the. Well, I started draining water down. I started painting. With green on, is on. It is. I can show you one I uncovered water feeding system.
My question is, we haven't heard the name here. I just think you guys, but also you were on the receipt just from the report from the engineering specifically identified the outlet structures, the outlet control structures, the pipes from the pond.
Right.
The job was awarded, and these guys came and started cleaning an entire street's worth of solar panels in the kingdom. But before someone realized that they weren't doing what they do, and we're stopped. So the point is, I think right when we talk about this is why would we pay for this mistake? And then how do we get this the right correct storm pipes and other control structures fixed? So what it is what we showed those the picture, right? Whoever we gave them the map and the survey, we give them the doing anything more to it, which is stone break. This is my understanding. I mean, I asked last time we used to the job and he said no, my hand and nobody was talking about. When he's always talking about this, never thought. Don't do stuff, but we go to the time. Well, the answer is street things
Second, I have a sign. And the other one was clear a drainage ditch adjacent to the address on the line items 107 and 111 Drive. So that's what the essence. You want to read it? This is to clear that drainage ditch adjacent to 117 Drive.
Yeah, but why did it?
Yeah.
But I'm not telling you. I'm not telling you. Yeah. You're not telling me. They look at both of these stuff. Or
The outhouse structure.
Why? I understand that it's going to work before you perform the work.
Who's the lead? And then outside of the lead.
That's the woman.
yeah, he knows exactly what it is I'm talking about. I'll get to them without even doing this.
I cleared out the drains in the net.
So basically, do.
We saw in 117 Moonsail Drive that the drainage should be cleared. And we cleared, okay,
So I know this something though.
that drain that we uncovered, water started leaking the system.
You don't see this one, the clock is on the other side.
That's not the one.
And there is, and then, this is.
The one across is there.
Yeah.
This is for the problem.
So that's all the time going to be on. And then you leave them alone. I use them as well. That's it. Those would be really not strong.
Well, on the estimate, scope of work that I furnished. But as far as that estimate, completed that.
What? What do? I did.
I put a scale together, gave it to you.
He might have done one to tell and what he was quoted from whoever it was.
Complete those random connected on the end, so the from one to the other. The last one was 50 clogged. That 140 last one is water.
That's right. But what? You got everything behind. Wonderful. So that's the other thing. So, one thing from lowest.
When we cleared that thing off, the whole drainage just vegetation set. We took all the vegetation out and instead of that, we moved the lot of it.
That's part. That is the downstream of the structures and that's the lab, that's the other. So if you can clarify, the outlet structure and there's 48-inch pipe that leads back to the, it looks like the one on the other side of the street. That entire pipe from the wetland side all the way down, you just pull the out.
In the outlet, we had water behind it, pushed everything out and once flood.
Himself.
So, you know, again, so I'm just trying to get post 54. It sounds like they cleaned a structure, but didn't flush the pipe.
Well, I'm hearing it did flush the pipe. Yeah.
The water tape thing and look at that football.
Yeah, I mean, I see the car. So, so.
Record.
You have the map.
Well, I pull up and
Would it be better to meet on site and you know, just the. Yeah, no, I understand. Yeah, because I mean, so, and I understand you met with Lewis, showed him, and Lewis met with him, but somewhere, I don't know if we can get kind of everybody back together, just make sure that, number one, things are clear as we need them, or if something else needs to be done, or if something was missed or misinterpreted. I want to get it straightened out.
I think that. No. But.
Well, I mean, I don't disagree with what you're saying. I just think that so we can all kind of get eyes on it and say, okay, here's the issue, here's what wasn't done, or you know, it is flowing, whatever the case might be, because it's hard. I mean, I'm not familiar enough. Yeah, sure.
Blah, blah, blah. He lives next to one. That. That's what we did. How about we make a meeting? I'll meet. Yeah, fair. So you got a forum, not that alone. And what you did is part of it. I appreciate that, or retrain, but that's not the issue.
Well, sorry, that's the scope of work that was, you gotta sign off.
Yeah, I think it's law and translation.
He made a mistake. You know, the bulk, where's the fee? Well, you asked because he's mad. You asked.
Yes.
No, I know. I'll do that. You guys should not. You want to be equally old phone for you. And I thought, so rather and they said, no, do it. First line and the estimate to teams training on the friends of the streets. Make your phone, and which way it is. Exactly. Yeah.
You want to have Louise meet with them also? Yeah. So we'll set up for Louise to meet as well. Listen to, yeah. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. Okay, thank you. Anything else? Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, no worries. We'll coordinate, get that put together. Okay. Thank you. Appreciate it. So we were at the beginning of the agenda. One of the things, I know you have some folks that are here specifically for agenda items. The next agenda item, which is the 3A notice of violation of district rules and suspension of amenity privileges, notice of right to attend board meeting. So I don't know who's associated with what address offhand, but I just thought what I can do is I can go over the addresses, and if anybody's here. Yes, sir. Yeah, okay, that's fair. That is fair. So we'll go to audience comments, and then we'll get right to anybody that's here for the violations. And general audience comments, same as before, 3 minutes. I'll raise my hand at about 2:30. And if you can state your name for the record, because even if you did before, it's, you know, separated, so sometimes it's hard to transcribe. So I'll start at the front again, and I'll go around. Just nod if you have a comment or a question related to general district items. Anything, ma'am? Can you state your name again? Thanks.
It is and make sure that I will be determined this for we do for this year, and I just want to thank you for your time. That you said for it and better. I just wanted to say that.
Thank you. Sure. Anything? Can you just state your name again? Thanks. Yep.
Air conditioning operating. Order. What? I'm two. I will know the technology necessary that TV into communication for teams can be used and as district council will allow people to not be from my because believe it or not in team you can shut off everyone's mic. They have the ability to raise their hands. And to solve any of the communication issue, take 30 minutes with the next CDD meeting to do a training session to show people how teams can be used, how you can raise your hand, how you can go into a community, and how you can hear your voice. In 2026, it is absurd to me in the age of technology that we won't leverage technology to allow our visitors or our residents to have access to whatever. You don't care if just one person shows up to the meeting, the access should be. And if we're putting our money, we deserve to be represented. Period. Thank you.
Moving to the second row, anything, general comments?
Education is very important. People don't know.
Can you state your name, ma'am?
Tequila.
Thank you.
Navigating teams, some people never been on teams, some people don't never heard about teams. So yes, educating people is very important. That people should take the time of their day to actually address certain issues that's going to educate people about things that instead of just bashing them.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else? Second row? Okay. Yes, sir.
There. 64 signatures, a lot of us are here. Should have input with the president, right? Before even voting, also we're against each other.
Thank you. Going to the next row, kind of back in the back. Anybody? Jim?
Thank you. Jim Page. I want to safe session. If this board is using the safe session to discuss security camera placements and upgrades that have initially used from sunshine law. These sessions are narrowly limited to mitigation and planning strategy. They are not for security planning, operational decisions, or avoiding public discussion. Discussions about expanding surveillance, camera placements, and additional thought along the whole with residents funding these to hear them and provide their. At a minimum, we can know that they are being reported in the general areas which the banks anything less undermines transparency in here today in public trust. Now, turning to the violation code, if the reviewing the cases in the agenda pack that stands out as not inconsistency, it's arbitrary enforcement. Take the actual cases before you, many of them who appear today. Geneo evidence, alleged conduct of the unfounded landscape area, not the amenity center. Yet her amenity access was suspended while access to the same district property, which is alleged with finding. The legal bill, the same issue, the access to it is suspended, but access to the bus stop will be less. It's still the deal with the alleged scooter in a landscape area, begin from spot suspended and then recently the end of the Victoria same thing. And this is not targeted. This is one side fits all for the actual thing. Many people you start with the bus stop, which is cool. If you have this Go to the school, not CDD. Residents are being suspended first and third later. That is absolutely exactly. It's kind of like before you do a period. And what country do you live in? Sort of Gagne. And finally, if a board member has already reviewed the videos, investigated it, looked at videos, made reports, you're no longer neutral. You cannot investigate and then sit as the judge of each individual's career. It's not going to be, it's predetermined outcome. So we consider your candidate.
I'm just letting you know, about 30 seconds.
And we hope these are your neighbors, and we should treat our neighbors with fairness and respect, especially when they're making decisions, you're making decisions that input back. And final thing to tell you, I wanted to come here today and hear you guys actually correct your mistake and make it right. Instead, you made a bold decision, and it's a downfall in your vote.
Any other comments from the room?
Okay, I'm going.
Yes. Actually, I'm sorry, you already went. Yeah, so I've got to take people that haven't won. No problem, ma'am.
Anything?
Should you, so we're gonna have a separate time. We'll give you a chance to speak, if that's okay. This is just general comments, but you'll get a chance in a second if that's okay. Okay. Any other questions? Just general. Oh, I'm sorry. See. Yes. Can you state your name?
People smoking weed, people impacted by things have turned on me a lot because someone is using it, and you know, someone's asking about it. That's one thing. I don't see, but I don't see for all these things people. That's that. This is about, you know, correcting what people are doing that something is I really I don't even think that I don't understand when that
Any other questions or comments in the room? General questions or comments? I have to, I'm sorry, I gotta let everybody get a fair chance. Sorry. But we have another comment section at the end of the meeting also. No, we're gonna get to that next, I promise. Okay, so I'm just gonna turn to the teams right now. If anybody has any general comments, questions related to agenda items, if you want to raise your hand, I'll go ahead and call on you and you can turn your microphone on. Not seeing anything right now. Okay. So now I'll turn it back to the board in case you have any comments at this time. And then of course we'll move into discussing the violations, that sort of stuff. Okay. So moving into item 3A, which is
Actually, I have if nobody else on the board, I have a comment.
Yeah, go right ahead.
The last time I checked, we live in a single family community, and am I actually seeing violations because somebody entered in a common area, like mulch that blows away, mulch that floats away? I mean, have we gotten that petty to just because somebody crossed into a common area that we're sending violations for this? I can understand at the clubhouse. That's an asset that we're responsible to take care of. But why is it we are getting petty and trying to put cameras up to have 360-degree inside and outside of the amenity center to basically lock it down like we are a prison? So I'm embarrassed that we have gotten this petty as a district and as a board member on this board. So this is embarrassing and it's sad. And I believe the board needs to start listening to the community, which is what they're supposed to do, act in the best interest of the community, not the best interest of certain factions or certain people. And that's all I got to say.
Thank you, Ron.
All right. So now we'll go into the that particular agenda item. So what I'll do is I'll read off just the address. That way, if somebody's there from that address, they can go ahead and speak. And as far as time, I mean, we would probably, give 3 minutes opportunity. And then if you want as a board to address each situation individually, that might be easiest, just rather than wait to the end where you have different issues and those sort of things. So the first, and by the way, if you're on the teams and you're here for this segment of the agenda, Victoria, I know you mentioned you were, if you just want to raise your hand whenever the address comes up, and I'll give you that opportunity. Again, same sort of thing, like 3 minutes. I'll kind of wave at you when it's at 2:30, and we'll go from there. So the first address I had was, and just for a reference point, I know this is in the agenda package and the board members have seen these, as well as obviously some residents. So these particular violations, there were a variety of them. Just for clarity, the letters that were issued out, although some of them did mention mulch, it was in conjunction with other things that happened as well. So that was just, it was landscaping, actual damage. So, and the mulch was just one aspect of it, obviously, probably a minor aspect. So the first one I had was 8811 Windlass Cove. If anybody's here. Yes, ma'am. And if you could just state your name for the record. Okay, the floor is yours. If you want to have any questions for the board, any comments. So what we typically do, just and I know you received a letter or whatnot. So basically what happens tonight is, of course, the board wants to give folks an opportunity to speak, to talk about obviously what happened. If there's, it's kind of your chance to give your side of the story, basically. And then once you do that, the board, they basically can keep the suspension, extend suspensions, or get rid of suspensions. But it's your opportunity to speak, I guess, is my main point. Okay. Okay. So did you want to, as a board, did you want to talk about these as we go through each one, or did you want to wait till the end of? Okay. Okay. Okay, fair enough. So the next address we had was 11628 Moonsail Drive. Yes, ma'am. Go right ahead. And can you just say your name one more time? Thanks.
And apparently, came through the landscape, mulch. My thing is, what do y'all actually get that? They don't get from
So, yeah, I mean, generally speaking, and I'll defer to the attorney on this because it's a security item, but generally speaking, what usually happens is there's video, there's, if somebody sees incidents, those sort of things. So that sort of thing.
this video every day, walking on the escape like this.
But okay, so as I understand it, there was a video.
Being the CRT.
Didn't-
Yeah.
I mean, how was the connection made between the video and this property? Does anybody have a?
For example, saying, I'm not saying if I don't want to identify different column mentioned here to which one's involved with some of these other incidents, but you mentioned how, for example, in one incident, some identification was made. You'll all recall bike theft and the bike theft disposal in the pond. I worked with a detective from MCSO reviewing footage and developing coordination with someone else. And so through that process, there was identification. And so as an example, seeing that, I don't remember. So it's not something that's fun. I try to say that I'm not going to get into
What he's trying to do, a general idea of how they wind up identifying people is through different channels, but yeah.
Something minor were identified by residents.
So you're saying, do you personally recognize the child that lives at 11628? The video throwing mulch. That's what I understand you saying. That's fine.
It is. So. Is not going to do it. Not a big, you know, it is. You know. Yeah.
And your son has said that that was not him?
What video you got?
I have not seen the video. I'm just asking if your son did not. No, I have two teenage boys. I know how they act around me and I know how they might act when I'm not around. I do not. I'm not suggesting that you do that.
Okay.
We spent literal tens of thousands of dollars and $19 million just replaced, just plantings here were just installed. And I personally, as a board member, funding these improvements will not accept and sit idly by and watch those things being damaged. I think it's important that parents are held accountable.
Excuse me, can you guys, I know you want to chat about something, but it's hard to hear, especially for the folks on the video.
So can you just speak to the gallery, I guess, suspension as when a CDD park was damaged outside of the pool area?
Sure. So the district has a set of rules, and then it has a suspension policy. And if somebody is in violation of the rule, the district has the option to impose a suspension of the recreation facilities that is one of the few ways that this district has to enforce rules throughout the community. So it can impose fines on people and do things like that. So if somebody's in violation of a rule, the district can impose a suspension, and that's the one strong, penalty that it can impose immediately. The only other option really would be to hire off-duty law enforcement or security, and that obviously is a substantial cost issue. Because we're not, it's a district, we're not law enforcement, we can't arrest people, we can't do those things. So in any event, I think what we have here for 11628 is there's a board member that was able to identify the child in question as being a resident of 11628 Moonsail Drive and was throwing mulch. I'm sorry, what I.
Each individual report.
And then,
think you got around about the central landscape here as well.
Yeah.
This is not, when and Supervisor Hathaway has access to all the city videos. He has to report secret review the entire footage time here, stamp by timestamp. This is not about wind blowing mulch in the craft. This is, this was first brought to attention by, I think someone posted on Facebook saying, hey, there's a lot of kids rolling stuff around, stepping in plants, throwing bikes in plants. And that in and of itself didn't suffice to stop the activity because it occurred on documented in reports.
So would the board like to continue the suspension, terminate suspension, take some other action? Is there a motion based on
Currently, it's a 30-day suspension, just for reference point.
effective as of the date of
The date of the
which is property. And it came at a time where I don't know how much the mulch bill itself is at $8,000. You mulch here, but probably years of plantings. But I'm a steward of the community and the community's money, and I find it absolutely necessary to do what we can at our disposal. Suspension is all we have. To make sure that parents speak to their children and the activity doesn't happen. And yes, I've heard this is a school issue. School is also involved. All of the students on the specific bus were spoken to in school. And this activity has abated, which is very good.
Yeah. Did you want to deal with, just one second, did you want to deal with each resident first or take a vote on this one as Michelle suggested, or? Okay, go right ahead, ma'am. Can you just state your name? Thank you.
So then I got a message. I could say, oh, I'm going to need to violate in the bike. So I took a picture of the bike there and I see this. So the bike is facing private.
So I will say, you're clearly without a thought sure that this is right. So I'm actually trying to reach out to the agency and message requests on Facebook. And when you do that, I saw you put something for sale and I tried to marketplace as well. Because I wanted to tell you that showing photographs of the bikes in the mulch. The bikes were not in the mulch at the end of that school day. That physically went down there after I was told and moved them to the bike rack myself. And honestly, this was multiple days. I didn't think that the black and white, you said on Facebook that was like this on the bike. But maybe it's going to play the help without being saying it may very well be because it wasn't in the bike rack that they didn't buy it.
She said that she didn't, that
Yeah, I was
the movement, but with the thing that is not put in the gun. So that's one, I think, if you have to, I'm the,
There's another of things right here. Multiple days and documented in our report. Of the best mulch, the actual lights. I'm not going to be in here. I'm going to yeah, so I don't know how much detail I'm expected to go into. And find some or some are identified. So yes, this one.
Yeah.
That why we can't see that. That's my own concern. I'm saying because if it's something not a sweet on the eat,
Yeah, I was gonna say, are we allowed? Yeah.
It's also the if we have options to go with video, you got it.
It's almost like there's like it's here. And being on this side is different. You understand tools and the resources we have that come into making one of these up. And you're just asking, or they're talented. That's not it. Or whatever. So just want to move a bit. Is there, of course. So is there something that is addressable that we can
Take a shot of the video clip that shows and then.
And what if it's not just video? There was instances where it was witnessed from others. There's other stuff that goes behind it as well. So
Then you would need either statements or testimony from your witness, something in writing.
okay.
They can send it, I mean, they could send it by email, but you would need to be able to
Yeah.
verify, because you as a board have to be able to verify. If you're gonna suspend somebody, that was the person that committed the violation, and you should be able to demonstrate that to, the person, like, this is what happened, and this is how we know.
Let's make things simple. Violations happen, you guys are fully. Again, our leaders about how to try to stop them from doing anything and enjoy. Always asking you, please control your kids. Something is cost you money, because you die. But that's exactly why I said I really appreciate it. So for me, that's bad. You look for other people in time.
So, and also. why 45, why 45? You asked about that specifically. That's why I specifically said this is the first instance. The second instance has not gone through all our. Yet, because it happened after and over a more extended period of time. And so that.
This is why it's kind of weird.
Okay, just, let's just take,
The picture, you know,
for the record. I'm gonna go, just identify for everyone. This, the household on this list that have also had prior incidents.
Yeah.
And letters sent to them.
Yeah.
Okay, so 11/7/05, Armada was involved in the incident 2025-00. 11/6/28, Moonsail was also in incident 2025-004. 11/7/16, Moonsail was involved in incident 2025-1. And prior to our documentation of these and numbering, back when we had a previous management company, it was just a report dated 8/20/25. And 760 was also involved with incident 2026-003.
Kevin, we have Victoria on the teams also. She's here for this. Could we give her an opportunity to speak? Oh, okay, yeah, go right ahead.
and have most. So I was trying to figure out why it was being listed on here by being in the race. And I really know down here. And y'all know that kids, y'all know. And I also feel this little Facebook page they got, it need to be shut down. They be bashing people kids left and right, and they think you're supposed to feel blood. I don't like that they bash people kids, because people take their kids very personal, and people take threats very personal. And when you get back on there and you say something, oh, it's a big problem. I feel like they should take that Facebook page down if they can't utilize it for selling stuff or advertising, giving things away, positive things being positive. Because at the end of the day, this city is not that weak. We're approachable people. I don't know if they're scared or because of our thinking y'all, what is the thought process? I can't tell you what the thought process is because I don't pull up to a couple people's house out here about my kid. I think about this is one of my children right here, and he's going to pay about the alligator, whatever the case happened with leveling, whatever, and I got about that. Because you don't do stuff like that in there. I don't even know about that. Somebody has to call me and tell me about that. And these friends out there and late and something happened and saying it was somebody out of it's three different sides to one sword. He go out there and he go fish with his friends and everything else. And I feel like if there's something going on, why doesn't people fishing on people's kids? You know, many kids I see on the white, black, Mexican, and I don't see it. It's disrespectful. But if they want to take it there and want us to start taking pictures of people's kids and posting it online, we can very much do that. But I feel like it's very child, very immature for grown adults to take pictures of people's kids and post it on Facebook page. Like, that's all I really think.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Just to the point that we don't read all that Facebook, that's not our.
Kevin, somebody started it big.
I left that. I wasn't having on the thing. I left it when I was so fortunate to absolutely know about what my friends were. So see how you said it, it's something and somebody come and tell us.
Yeah.
But basically, we just having it with kids. But you took it like, what is it? No, I'm saying this might be this time you can think of it. One said like one will play all together with everybody in the school. If there is a picture of video, usually somebody.
This is what, yeah. My opinion, everybody is free. Okay, he hangs with every child he can find, no matter. He was there to be with a child, but what's going on? There's kids here. And he could be just staying with them, but because they would tell my son not to hang those kids that they do things that they're not business. I really preach to my son not to do that. He's just so friendly. And sometimes he don't listen. So sometimes he can be seen as that thing. He comes to tell me things. And I tell him, stay away. Stay away. But I don't limit my family from coming outside and being big. I shouldn't have to do that.
So
Let's. Yeah.
Before the point, this, you do not go to the door based on Facebook post. We don't go saying, hey, I saw this from you. That's just not what a board does. But we all see that you have the saying that you started to be doing the right thing, and you like someone to come to the direct to happen. And I mean, that's all anyone can ask for, is that, kids, have the power to take care of the kids and the different things. Unfortunately, doesn't come up with job to pay for their things. And I that, so, it just, again, the board.
We have one, we still have Victoria, wait. So can we just, yeah.
But I was gonna go through that with you.
Okay, so Victoria, did you want to, I see your hand up, so I want to give you an opportunity to speak.
Yes. Quite frankly, this is really frustrating. I can definitely understand being upset about kids damaging landscaping or whatever, but one, can you tell me or prove to me that it was one of my children? Okay. And if it was, great, I will handle it. I will speak with them. But we do also live in a community where there are a ton of kids, and we shouldn't penalize kids for being kids. Kids go around the neighborhood, they play with other kids. There was one item on my notice that said that a scooter was parked inappropriately. I'm sorry. I went home and when my kids got home from school today, I did speak to them about it. And of course, they have no recollection of it. They're like, no, we're not doing that. They're kids. Okay. Second, I had not known about this meeting unless a neighbor texted my husband and told us about this meeting. But had I been working, I'm a nurse. I work 12-hour shifts. I can't spend an hour and 39 minutes on a call waiting my turn to speak about my kids throwing mulch. Okay, that's really frustrating. Okay, I feel like this could have been handled a bit differently and more effectively. Me waiting on a call for an hour and 39 minutes isn't great use of my time. Luckily today I was not working, but I am still not in town. My children have many extracurricular activities that we do, and so this isn't a good use of my time. If my kids are causing problems, I can definitely speak to them about behaviors and we can correct that. That is not something that we tolerate in our household. We don't condone them going and damaging property, especially community property. That's not what we're doing. But they're also children, and they're not. My kids personally are 9 and 11 years old. We can't sit there and expect them to act like grown adults. They're gonna make mistakes. They're gonna do things that don't make sense. They're children. Okay, so to get a notice like this, this is all quite frustrating, honestly. And this could have been handled differently. You could have, I mean, suspending pool access or clubhouse access because they were throwing mulch, I feel is a bit extreme. But I will be speaking to my children. I have no problem speaking to them about behaviors while they're out in the community. I have no issue with that.
Okay. Thank you, Victoria.
So I don't call out the individual that when I got don't want to be dangerous by identify what other incidents we have in front of us. And the reason I need to do that is because that was all done. The way we do things, all letters went out. Okay. The reason we do that is because in some of those instances, a first time issue was not given a suspension. In some instances, I will not be able to, from my memory, read the number and tell you exactly what each one was, but they were documented instances that letters from management to the household. So my point is that while I appreciate everyone coming here and going to take responsibility for the damage with the bus stop incident, if one of those houses also has prior instances here of amenity center violation, but there I but just let it, and that would be anything to do. So let me just go through
I don't understand or hear the response to my comment. I only get pieces of it, so I don't know what's actually being said.
I'm going to move you a little bit closer. Sorry.
I would love to go to the panel of the kids that have done serious things like the bike theft and the throwing it in the pond. And I'm actually optimistic that some of the folks I've heard from are going to make sure that never happens again. But I don't know what the protocol would be for doing that. Again, like I said, we can't just every time you suspect or identify in some way a child or an adult, but I'm just saying a resident, go knock on the doorstep. Okay, right? You understand kind of, well, I want to be able to reach out to a parent and clear up whether it's your bike or not. So hopefully we get to that. But 11/6/28 Moonsail, again, the prior incident was 2025-004. That means it was the fourth incident in 2025, according to our numbering system. The fourth incident? Not of that one person, but the fourth incident community-wide, it's just a numbering system. So it's INC-2025-004. 11/7/60 Moonsail was involved with 11/7/05 Armada in 2025-0011. Also involved predating time with us, an incident on 8/23/25, and also involved in 2026-003. So that's 3 separate incidences prior to the one in this document that we're talking about tonight. So this is the 4th with 11/7/60 Moonsail. 8811 Windlass was also involved with the 2 others I just mentioned under incident 2025-0011. 11-006 Moonsail. Again, to be clear, I'm not saying that child was in that incident. It could have been an incident of letting someone in against the rule, something like that. So please don't, I'm not saying that any of your children did any of these extra things, but they could have. You could probably get these records that I am reading out for the record, but from management, so you can see. But again, you should probably already have a letter about it. So if I didn't say it already, sorry, 11-006 Moonsail was just one separate incident besides this one. And then 11-627, besides this mulch thing, no other incidents associated with the house ever. Yep. Is that the one with what? So incident 2025 11-006 Moonsail.
Yeah.
So 11-325-003. If I recall, it was actually an incident of letting people in without using a card. You know, again, so that was the first incident, and there was no suspension. It was just we always do that generally, unless it created a massive havoc here, which has happened. But if it's a very genuine mistake, the call has always been, hey, just so you know, even if, please use your card. And that's probably the letter you got on that one. Okay, and so the board very rarely puts in any suspension on a case like that, because it's like I said, it wasn't intentional in that case, and that comes from reviewing the video. So now we gotta take them individually and we have to decide what to do. I don't know what you all think about prior incidents in addition to this one. And I am still, I've requested from the landscaper a cost to evaluate the plants that all the bikes and stuff have been just basically discarded on, and to clean up the mulch and the grass. And I don't have that back. So we have to do something, and it would be inconsistent to do a suspension only as long as it's been basically between meetings for something that involves multiple incidences in the past in some of these cases and destruction. Yeah, so the big damage, the big cost damage that's coming up, it's still, we have some costs, but again, the documentation is ready. There's no letters gone out, no suspensions. It's usually when we reach the point where we've got a full documentation and report ready to go to council and gone to council and already reviewed by management and ready to send letters to the resident. That's when a suspendable situation is usually, that's when the suspension is usually implemented, because we want the resident to call to find out what's going on. Why is my thing not working? Management should know and be able to answer them right away. So we don't just suspend it and then start working on this documentation. That wouldn't be fair because you wouldn't get answers. So probably on me to say something here and make suggestions. So
Hold on, I'll say something. So I think, listen, we were all kids. I would not have survived in the age of cameras everywhere. I wouldn't have I'm telling you, it's not a joke. So I have kids. My kids are older, they're 33 and 24, and we caught the tail end of that. And trust me, they've been on camera doing some suspect stuff themselves. So I get it, and kids are kids. But my issue is two things. One, I do believe in a fair trial, and this is not trial, so we're not saying that, but this isn't arbitrary. I don't think Kevin just made this up and said you're on it and all that, and I believe there is some kind of proof behind it. Now, to what extent, I get it. But I also feel, to be completely, what's going through my head is, if we go forward and it becomes a bigger issue for the board and the community as far as what proof we have, is it documented correctly? Are we able to share that information and all that type of stuff? I don't want to expose the community to anything. But I also feel that, like, hey, if you damage stuff, you got to pay for it. Like, the reason isn't here because we don't like somebody or something like that. It's because there's documented proof that the board feels strong enough with that has you committing something, that's going to say, this was verified by somebody, or you're on camera with somebody. I mean, the bus stop, I know there's school officials involved with that too. So like, it's not just an arbitrary thing, but I have an issue with how protected the board is with how we handle it. And if we have a high level of confidence or not. Now, I know it's not arbitrary, I just said that, but I don't know how it's going to be perceived by other people or, council, how it stands up, or Andy, and how it goes through when people challenge these things. So that's what I would just like to get confidence on.
So. Needs to be able to establish the violation.
Okay.
So you need to be able to document. You can document it, you can document it by witness testimony, however you do it is fine, but you need to be able to say, owner, you're being suspended and this is why. This is what happened, this is the date, this is how I know, and this is what the consequence is. And I think that's what they're asking for, and as long as you have that, and you can explain that to them, then heard from them, and now you can make a decision whether to.
So I think that. So if a written sworn affidavit by any witness is required to suspend anyone, then yeah, I have to talk to someone that I know that it has helped me identify some of these situations, and ask them for a sworn affidavit. Is that what you're saying?
I don't know that it has to be a sworn affidavit.
I don't know what I'm throwing a terminology out there. I don't know what that means. A letter signing where they say, oh yeah, I know that person. He hangs out with my kid. And that's, I saw him literally get off the bus and go look for his missing bike in the bushes and then go to the bus stop and drive it to his house where my son plays with him. Like, if that person chooses does not want to sign something saying that, yeah, that's how that child is identified, then there's no suspension. Is that essentially what you're saying?
Well, you would have to be the source then, right? You would have to be able to say, I can have, reliable documentation that this was the child of, 100 Main Street that, that did this violation, what they did, when it happened and how it happened. So I don't know. I mean, I would just say for any of us, right? If somebody came to you and said, Kevin, you kicked the door in and you cost $200 of damage and I'm finding you $200.
Right.
Well, you want to know, how did I know that? How do I know it was you?
And it's like
So
when I started by saying 3 of these, I know from talking to a detective, reviewing footage, and also speaking with someone at the school. So yes, I know. Is that good enough? No, I don't want to be unfair to anyone. So I want to know if we have done this before, because we have been able to identify people by various means. I just want to know if you're going to say that requires, take anyone who will say, oh, I know that child because he's my son. That's his bike. Then I have to get them to put that in writing and share that with the parents.
I'm just saying you have to document. So you can say on the record, any of you. I either witnessed the event or saw this happen and I positively identified the child by speaking to a law enforcement officer. Or because of a prior incident, I was able to positively identify that this is the child who resides at 100 Main Street.
The parents show me.
get it too.
Yeah.
If you have a video, say that you should capture a screenshot of the video that shows the incident and the person in question and be able to.
So
that.
that was my next question. Let's say if we send a violation moving forward, if we can just attach a picture to the violation straight up.
Oh, yeah. What do you want to do that?
Here, this is exactly why I went for a year and a half trying to find out if council would buy into allowing me to share images or videos with residents, and I was shut down by former council and I was shut down by current council. So yes, I would be more than happy to go to someone and share that video and say, I have reason to believe this is your child. And I bet any one of you, if it was your child, you would say, give me my things, if that's my child. And I, if you've done it again, okay, but I believe you're hamstrung by.
Video and picture are different.
So,
So just for clarity.
Yeah.
Just so everybody understands. There is an exception from Florida Public Records for security information pertaining to a public entity. So if there's case law that says if you have a video and showing that video to somebody else will reveal any material information or security or weaknesses or vulnerabilities in your security system, that video is protected from public disclosure. So any snapshot of any video from the video cameras, if you show that video to somebody, they'll see, okay, the camera picks up these areas and it doesn't pick up these areas. So that's revealing a vulnerability in your security system. So I'm not suggesting that we show the video,
About a screenshot.
but a screenshot showing the person in question in the incident. And so that you could say that we have some documentation.
so we can tie that into the actual letter that goes out to the residents, put in a screenshot or two. And then they could come right back and say, yeah, it's absolutely a mistaken identity. Right? Yeah, no, I get it. Like, those exist, there is two. It was my understanding that that was inappropriate. So.
I wouldn't show the whole video because then, like, to show
Shots.
its vulnerabilities. I think it's
Okay, so.
screenshot.
Absolutely, it's great. I am happy to be able to do that. It was my goal. In trying to get that permission before, and maybe it was a big giant misunderstanding to not be able to do it, but. So I want to do that. How do we do that going forward and deal with these current incidences? I think we have 11705 has a prior incident as well as the bus stop, the bus stop stuff. There is still potential costs. I would not support just not letting go of the suspension with just the last 2 weeks or whatever it has been. Not based on prior precedent, and we're constantly, more so me, constantly attacked about being inconsistent. It would be inconsistent to do anything else, in my opinion. 11628, again, had a prior incident. And even if it was an innocuous one, now this is a second. 11760 has 3 priors, so 4 total. And they,
You want to do one by one and just say,
yeah,
like for number 8811, is there a motion to terminate the suspension early? Or is it's a 30-day, right? Yeah, is there a motion to change it, to terminate it early or extend? Anybody want to make any motion, or otherwise it will continue and it will have to be ended over?
and we have given people 90 days for letting people in. That led to that those people letting in minors, unsupervised, and so on and so forth. We've done 90 days. Like I said, this at a different level. This is disregard for property, and there's a prior incident. So, I honestly scrutiny. I can't see doing, but consistent doing 90 days for that.
Yeah.
You make a motion.
So
How long did we suspend them?
I think it's over in March. Yeah.
But I really appreciate the discussion because
Yeah, early March, basically.
for this amenities center stuff, even though we agreed 100% in uniformity, all unanimous vote. It's not something I want to do.
Difference between this one and the other ones, they show that.
Yes, absolutely. So that's
That's respect to the community itself. So what I would say, I mean, they're here, they didn't, I mean, they, it's difficult to have a right to even say what they would say, and the same for us too. But I don't think you can, I just think if we go one by one.
Like for instance, if the first one is 8811 Windlass Cove. You know, for that one, it says repeated violations. It's unauthorized entry climbing the gate, so I'm gonna assume it's on camera, coming over the gate and everything. It's minors to the pool without adult supervision. That is a big grievance. There's a lot of reasons why. It's most first one is safety. And then it's also unauthorized entry for additional individuals, which a year ago, that was one of the biggest thing that was going on, that people just letting everybody in.
right.
So
If the prior is the bike theft and disposal in our pond, theft on our property, disposal in our property, is this the time for me to mention it? When we're dealing with that house? That's some serious stuff, and there's no repercussions because they're minors, so that I have the final police report. It's redacted, you know, so there's essentially nothing and it's closed, but that is, I don't even know if those adults know that that even happened. They may not. They may never got a letter from anybody. That's, I mean, that's, yeah, nobody, no one, there's been never any identification of who's associated with the bike theft. Even when you got the police report, you wouldn't get that. Like I said, I know it because, and I know the households because of working with the detective and working with the school.
Is that a basis for the suspension for 8811? I don't understand.
Basis for 8811 is what we're talking about here, the bus stop damage.
Okay.
This particular, prior incidents that there may or may not have been.
Which pertain to 8811.
yes,
That's an issue.
yes. So
Part of the basis of your suspension.
as far as repeated violation. So
What should we consider when giving a suspension?
Was there a motion for action on this one? Based on all of that info?
Make a motion for 90-day suspension. That. Nothing less.
Do we have a second on that particular motion? Seconded. Now we're in discussion. Any discussion?
my point would be, it's consistent to what we've done in the past. It's repeated violation. And the seriousness of the non-adult supervision and climbing the gate. And I feel confident that it's on camera. So, you know, and so that would be my version of it, is that we feel pretty confident that it's the exact individuals we're saying, it's documented, it's multiple offenses.
Okay. Any additional discussion? Hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Okay, that motion carries. The next one is 11628 Moonsail Drive. And just to give a time check, we're 2 hours in, so I just want to let you know, let's.
Yeah.
You know, I know this takes a while, but I think it's important in fairness. Well, that it's not just, we don't zoom through that.
Oh, yeah, and just for clarification, I only mention it because we start charging after 2 hours. So it's merely just letting you know that the clock is running, so to speak. That's all. Sorry.
Thank you.
Well, I wasn't trying to rush.
And so I believe 1.5-004 was the prior to today.
I'm.
They're talking about it right now. So they're, yeah.
Was involved with anything in this community. So.
So can you see if a letter was sent?
Oh, yeah, this one.
No, but I'm saying prior.
Not currently, because it could be before our, because it was 2025.
I mean, again, is it possible that on the letters that Monica never caught up to yet, when she first started, that she didn't get out the letter? I mean, it's in the tracking spreadsheet.
Well,
but
so just to be clear, are we talking about this letter? We're talking about a previous one.
We know this letter. We know about this letter.
Gotcha,
It's not-
gotcha.
Not being aware of it.
Anything's possible, but even if I bring it up an electronic version, that doesn't tell me like if
Yeah, just, what would the incident be?
I'm trying to.
what 2025-004. Got it. That's all I need.
Like, my last name. Sorry, you think this was Finney, all right? Yep. Thank you. Mark 24, that was this one, right? Yep. Can you bring up the spreadsheet?
Yeah, let me see if I can grab it. Yes, I've got announced.
So this one had to do with, this one had to do with, this one had to do with, a minor in the, without a, oh, yeah, what was the,
It was 11:16.
Unsupervised minor.
again, I don't.
Five that a minor.
To the,
Yeah, yeah.
is there a date, the column that says big letter sent by Kai?
That was back here.
No, it's up here.
Oh.
So which one?
I think it's that one.
It's like, for when they, file, and then it's on file and then on the mouse. There's.
Yeah.
It's a lease. And a photograph is sent out. Of access. That's what it's not. Are you in? Yeah. It's not that big. Oh, then you need to contact your landlord. With a copy of the lease agreement. As we pass, you're gonna have your ID on it. So y'all, they need
I know you're there. What they're saying is, when you get an access badge or scanners to come in here, when you sign up for it, if you are a renter, you have to present your lease agreement to get access for it. You know.
there's that there. And probably not, they are not. As part of the rule. So they. And in the system, it didn't say, the building relief is just that there's a starting and date assigned to that. That's all. And if you really, it's just that. Already stuff in it. That's the only reason. So. So on that particular one, that was just noting that it's still. I'm sorry that it's all of the things, but that is not a violation. Essentially, it's becoming to clarify, it's not to over the household, the address. When I said the prior, noted issue with the address, in this case, it's not even me. Oh, yeah. It's a party release. So,
Sure.
Thing is the only thing we're talking about is this one. No prior thing.
Got it.
So, and she's here.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, it's just the applicant.
Yeah.
Just call her.
Yeah, please,
So what about now? The actual March 6th, 9th, and 10th that we're talking. This one. Start. Look at walking through landscape, planting beds, throwing mulch in determined common areas, leaving bicycles within the landscape areas. That's what we're saying. And so. Are we, and, make a.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
We don't have a dollar or cost associated with any destruction.
No, it really was, Don't have that below. Yep.
Mulch, what is this, what is the consistent and on the first? That's fine.
Okay, so the motion is,
And then there's no.
okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a second? Okay, any further discussion? All in favor? Okay, that motion passes. You can email me. I think my info's right on the letter, probably. Or there. Yep. Yep, thank you. Okay, so we would move to 11006 Moonsail. Yes.
As we remember, this was basically, I believe that was the gist of that report. It's not here, the first time is the report that essentially the warnings are typically if something else happens, there will be and then this one that was like so the first one was just the was just coming in hard. And we always think was identified and allows security camera to tie someone back to a problem. There was nothing. It's just it was sent out as like this is important. Even if someone says, "Hey," you say, "Just hold on, let me do this and that." So and you haven't done that. This was completely different, and again, this is the bus stop. And I swear I did that video once, but this one is not going to feel that like thing is never going to get it.
I think we probably do that.
Yeah, I just clicked on it. That's all right. I got so it is essentially.
Okay.
A motion.
Motion. Okay. Do we have a second to that motion? All right, any additional discussion on this one? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, that motion is carried. Next one is 11627 Moonsail Drive.
Yeah.
Motion. Okay, do we have a second?
Okay.
Okay, any additional discussion? All in favor? Just email me. Yeah, just email me and we can, yeah, it's just let me know what you need and my email's right here. What's up? Yeah, we'll get it set up. So,
One more.
so they have the mobile app or they have the fob. The fob would come in the mail, but the mobile app, they give you the details for putting it on the phone. Yeah, there you go. Yep. All right, the next one. So we have one more, which is the 11705 Armada Way and it's Victoria Dog.
60.
That's the one we just did to restore access.
No, that was 1167.
We, oh, okay, I'm sorry. Yeah.
Yes,
sir.
11627.
Sorry, you're correct. Yes.
Okay, so now we're 11760.
Yep.
Okay, so three prior to this, one of them is, I believe, very serious. But it has resolved. 11760.
Are they, is 11760 here? Are they on the phone?
I don't believe so.
April, what's it, Wilkie? I mean, they're not here, they're not.
Not here. I mean, one of them, including after the suspension was issued for Missouri. He's also been in here, let in by someone else, another kid, another mother who used his parents' card, and that money was suspended. This kid was with him. So, coming in unsupervised, that's 90 rooms, swimming in the pool, putting up, doing backflips off the ring, all kinds of stuff. So, this is a laundry list, 11760. Here, no indication whatsoever that there's intent to stop this behavior. I would make a motion for 90 days plus 30 for each of the prior incidences. That's what I would do.
Do we have a second to that motion?
I'll second it to discuss.
Okay, now
How many prior?
So prior. 30. 2, 3, 3 documented incidences and one that we're talking about.
So we're on 90 and 90.
That's my one.
Okay. And they're documented where, you know, the pool behavior, I would say 100%. The other stuff's already done and sent letters afterward, notified, all that.
So again, my spreadsheet, whether Clives had been able to catch up on the earlier incidents, and whether they sent individual letters or whether they grouped them all into one that caught up to sending these letters over.
But we feel confident they were notified.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, okay. So that's the second one.
So, I mean, if there's any question on how many previous incidents, you could pick 6 months, 9 months, something like that if you want.
Any more discussions?
Okay. Good. Okay, all in favor? Okay, and
Is one is 760 and 8011, which ones are serious concern. I would make a motion that be 90 days plus 30.
do we have a second?
I'll second it to discuss.
Okay, discussion.
One they would say the serious one is the law enforcement with the law.
Law enforcement school.
Yeah, okay. Thank you.
There's no additional discussion. All in favor? Opposed? Carries. That's it for the violations.
Good. Yeah.
Okay, Oh, okay. So, moving on, back on agenda. Or next agenda item, I guess. We'll schedule. So, we have item
Sorry,
5.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you already get to 11-705? Because I can hardly hear, so I didn't hear what the resolution is to that one.
Yeah, so. Hi, Victoria. Yes, they did. That was the last one they did. Apologize for the sound quality. So what they had decided was a suspension for 90 days, plus 30 days. So, that's
For what
currently
reason?
what it was. Just based on the suspension, the details in the letter and, previous incidents as well, I think they talked about.
Okay, so I'm okay with the suspension if you can prove that it was my kid. And what other instances? Because again, the only reason I knew about this was because a neighbor texted me, not because I received anything or was notified in my email. I went back in my email and I looked. The only notification about this meeting was that, hey, there's a meeting, but there was not anything overtly advertised like, hey, you need to be at this meeting because of XYZ.
Gotcha.
Again,
So
only reason I knew about this was because the neighbor texted me. So if you can
understand.
prove to me that, like, what other prior instances, and yes, those were my kids, then I can understand that. Okay. But there have been instances in the past where one of my children has been mistakenly or confused with another child that did something else. So I just want to make sure that these instances or these the documentations that you guys are reporting are actually my kids.
Okay. So as far as the documentation and the notification, we did mail out a letter. Yeah, I can certainly forward that on to you as well. If you want to reach out to me, I can send it onward to you. It's also in the meeting package, which is on the website. If you have an opportunity to grab it from there, you can do that as well.
Okay, so how do I get the documents about whatever other instances you guys are talking about? Because I don't know.
Yeah.
So when you send the notice to her of the decision, include the prior notices.
Right. Yeah. So
Send that off.
not sure if you heard that, Victoria. What we'll do is, so we once these decisions are made, we send out a notification letter, and I can include in that some of these details that you're asking for.
Okay. And then can we also notate that 2.5 hours is ridiculous for this?
I appreciate that. I think the board hears you. Okay.
Okay. Is there anything else that I need to be aware of for the rest of the meeting? Because I'm driving and I prefer not to be distracted by this. This is really frustrating, and quite honestly, it's gotten me pretty pissed off.
Yeah, no, I understand. No, just a routine business, only if it's something that is interesting to you, just typical board stuff on the agenda for this evening.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, thank you. So moving into the next item is consideration of engineering services. So I know you all had the packages for the 2 engineering firms, BGE, BDI. I've worked with both those firms. I know Michelle's worked with at least one of them. I don't know about both. Yeah. So both good firms. I reached out to the three biggest in this industry. The one other firm, they're just have a lot on their plate right now. So they declined. What we do for the engineering, and I conferred with Michelle on this, which lines up what I've done in other districts, is we have basically a scoring sheet where you will score each of the firms, and ultimately based on score, you're going to have a ranking 1 and 2. And then you should enter into contract negotiations, if you will, with the one that ranks highest. I know this ranking sheet you got today, if you want to digest it and do it and bring it back to the next meeting, we could do that. If you want to go through it now, certainly an option. Really up to you as a board, what you think is best. We've, gone for a while without an engineer, so.
Question. There's been on there about quality-based selection processes and this kind of thing is used, but it's not required. But I should defer to however you think it should be done, and if you has been able to do it and prepare their sheet, then to defer, you know.
Yeah. So how necessary is it to fill out this criteria and do the official ranking, or can they take this into consideration in general terms while making a selection?
I don't have any issue with it, taking it in general terms, but I do think each of the supervisors needs to have considered and be able to weigh in on them. So that- just- Have you reviewed the proposal?
Yeah.
In paying qualifications based on methodologies. That's why you don't see this every year. That's why that was this like experience. So I just feel that all perfect qualified. Totally perfectly qualified for this. I went through and started almost everything. Except I gave it to BDI on consultants' past performance. And not that their overall performance is any better or worse based on what we provide, but it's more applicable to what I know we need them for.
Can I mention one thing that I just clicked with me because it's kind of relevant? When I spoke with both these engineering firms when I reached out to them. One of the things with BDI, one of their concerns or they wanted to ask about was, would they be able to attend remotely from time to time if they had a conflict, couldn't get down here quick enough, that sort of thing. And I know we had that change tonight, so that I just want to put that out there. I do know the engineer that would be working this district from BDI. He does live in St. Petersburg, so he's literally right across. Yeah, sure.
The big items like this, drains, something like that.
They'd get out there. Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. I think I just wanted to put that out there because it was a discussion point. But yeah, he indicated that for important items, he'd make it out and that sort of stuff. Yeah.
It's like landscaping.
Yeah.
No, there's no problem.
Yeah. Okay.
So the only I gave BGE a slight edge. Not by truly objective things on measure. They said something that resonated with me. It's what you should say and you should do about the allocation of your senior engineers to keep costs down while having the senior engineers making sure there's quality control and everything's done the right way. But they just check the box, give them a slight edge. Overall, though, the prior consultant's past performance on my score sheet gave an 88 to 85 score with BDI ranking number 1 in my.
I don't think anybody would notice Bill doesn't.
One more local, I know to have one of their multiple,
but one in I think has wider scope of what they deal with. There are different standard states.
I would say that, so to answer your question, one is a bigger firm. Yeah, exactly what you're describing. One is a smaller firm. I can tell you from working with the 3 primary engineers, 2 from one firm, 1 from the other, they're all excellent. I mean, they really are. I don't think you could go wrong with either firm or any of the 3 engineers, just to be honest. And I've worked with them for decades, really. Sure.
Maybe quality.
what I'm thinking.
So. Consideration, 8 o'clock. Extended.
Don't be here. I'm sure it comes.
But possible consideration for feeling that one may be cheaper than the other. We then, you enter a negotiation with the selected firm. It's not because outside you see that their rates are outside of the standard, you can go to the second bank. Do you have any discussion with her if I make a motion to select one based on discussion in my own?
I mean, I think that's fine. I think it would be helpful to hear the input from to understand. Ron said you reviewed it. I prefer that you filled out the sheet. I mean, I think it would show that, everybody has reviewed and, considered it based on their expectations. And then it doesn't mean you're gonna be committed to that.
Is there, take a minute and fill it out?
Yeah. Just a
Think outside the box if they can adopt Kevin's ranking, but I guess that's not the spirit of, yeah, especially
Participation.
absolutely.
Just, that's the only thing that was.
Yep, totally good. No.
What's going on? Invoices or planning to go today?
That's, and code. Oh. Sorry. So the Kutak is going to be 2 minutes. All of these. Failing. As soon as we get done this, the rest of it's fine. Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I don't think that's a problem. Drainage work we did. I think the license agreement, didn't they already approve that? They just asked you to draft it. He's ready. And the thing is, he won't start paying the 500 until it's signed. But I think didn't they? I'm trying to remember if there should motion made. So just let me know if you want to pass it down or let me know when you're done. Yeah. Thank you, sir. Appreciate it. Okay.
Oh, no. What's next?
Just wait for one more. Absolutely, yeah. Right. Thank you. Okay, so based on the 4 different ones, in each case, BDI is ranked number 1. So I would recommend a motion to move into contract negotiations with BDI based on their number 1 ranking. If somebody would like to. Okay. So we have a motion and a second. Any additional discussion? Sure.
So we currently do not have a contract engineer, like an engineer contracted for the district.
Yeah, they stopped
Yeah, you're
April 3rd. No, they were, yeah, correct. Yeah, so they're done now.
All right, so, said a little differently, we're not obligated to stay with anyone for any more period of time. We have none.
No.
No, and and if things were slow as far as contracting, you can always do special engineer for project based, yeah. Okay, staff reports, engineer, nothing. Field manager, Gary, didn't know if you had anything. I know there's the shed. I don't know if you guys want to do that next meeting or. Okay, manager's report, so.
Hey, the whole area, that's a fishing pond.
So,
Fishing pond. Weeds.
oh, yeah. I mean, I didn't find it in the tree, it's already been treating it, but. What happened this time of year, we grow 10 quicker into the third.
They use it.
Okay. Anything else?
If nobody was his president, the stuff, it's really done here. Any vendor would have any big projects to do. Well, 7,000.
Now, we'll have to do a walkthrough.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, whatever it is, one board member, Lewis and myself, we walk it, make sure that we're all right on the same page.
That's
Moving forward, that'll happen.
the other stuff. Lowest vendor didn't. Staying. It's kind of fun.
And this will circumvent that. There's one board member and Lewis and myself, we go and we take a look. And there's no ambiguity there.
That's coming at the cost, but the engineer here that value from his study of our drainage system in the back. We had that typically at the cost of having the study. The engineer would.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking the whole time when we were talking about that. Yeah. Yep.
And so, in the future, if we get on this company and use services, I'll be all after that we consider that as an option.
Yeah, and they're good. The so BDI and Robert specifically, who will be your engineer, he worked with Swift Mud. So his knowledge of water management as well as dealing with the authorities is fantastic. So you'll be good. Okay, the next item I had was attorney's report. Okay. Manager report, I had a couple quick things. The first one, consideration for approval, license agreement for placement of signs. I've been in touch with the entity. They're good. They saw the agreement that was prepared. They're fine with it. We just need to add an exhibit, the agreement that was prepared by Michelle on behalf of you guys. $500 for the sign. Yeah. So my recommendation, if you guys are interested in having this move forward, all we're doing is we need to get them an exhibit for the sign to add to the agreement, and then they're ready to sign. So I'd rather not wait till next month if you guys want to approve upon, attorney review and that sort of thing.
Kevin, sign.
Yep. Okay. Okay. Do we have a second to that motion? Okay. Yep.
Sign for the wall,
Mhm.
right? And we use for others, because I have spoken to 7 other, they have questions, and I don't want anyone.
Yeah.
About what we have to discuss it, when someone's really interested, I let them know they have to do their own sign, but then, like, some people are like, oh, thank you very much, just give me your name and number, thank you. And then other people are like, well, how many feet? For how long, for how much would, and then there was a little, this was one limit. So I said, let me get to make sure you guys got the, kind of just the nice comments, gentlemen, I said, I'll get back to you, thank you very much, no. Pretty much wanted like the details, and I didn't really want to give any details, not knowing what we.
So once you sign this contract, I mean, is it already a public record, so you can give them this one?
Okay.
And tell them that's the framework, and then in terms of the signage and the placement, that would be on, you know, you guys, he can propose, and then you guys would determine if it's too big, too small, right color, font. The only thing I would let them know is that they're responsible for obtaining any permits or authorization from any government entity that's required. And they
Question, and this is for thought too, is, does this mean the sign has to be affixed to the wall, or can they do like an A-frame sign in grass? Is that covered under this as well?
That's
not to say that we want that.
they propose and you guys decide. If they propose something in the dirt and you're like, I don't want to do that.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that.
So for probably, I can, what is the project? There's an estimate that they asked for, that if it's printed, he's here, pre-approving, he signs, you already have the location there. Yeah.
Good point.
2 weeks.
Yeah. Yeah, makes complete sense. I agree. All right, all in favor of that one? Okay. We did the drainage discussion, the consideration of Kutak invoices. So, when you all transition from legal firms as well as management companies, we had a couple Kutak invoices that came in after the fact. Reviewed them with the chair as well, because obviously he has good history of the district, and there were some charges on there that appeared that they probably shouldn't be on there, mainly because of the topics that it was and whatnot. So went back to Chair, your previous attorney who I've worked with elsewhere, and he removed some of the we'll say questionable items and whatnot. So he resubmitted the invoices, and just looking to get the okay from the board to move forward and pay those to clear it up.
How much came off? Like,
I think it was a few $100, like maybe, I'm trying to remember, like $500, something like that. Yeah. Yeah. So, all right, do we have a second? Seconded. Any additional discussion? Hearing none. That's the last of them. Yeah, the only other thing we had was some for your mitigation work and doing a little research. It was valid, so it, yeah. Yeah. All right. All in favor? Okay. Consent agenda, we have your consideration for acceptance, both the unaudited February 2026 financials and then the approval of the meeting minutes for March 5th, 2026. I'll ask first if there is a motion to approve the consent agenda. Okay. And do we have a second? Seconded. And now any discussion, comments, questions, changes, those sort of things?
Yeah. So we're looking at the financial figure. The unaudited, I understand, in February 28th.
Yep.
Can you just, what was the budget? Where is that over?
Get there real quick. Bear with me. And by the way, while I'm scrolling through to get to the financials, good time to remind everybody, we'll be starting on the budget at our next meeting. So I will send you out the beginning of that, the first cut at it. And if you guys want to carbon copy all you guys, feel free to send me back any thoughts as far as projects, general concepts of whether you want to stay flat, go up, go down, whatever. And we'll do that. We'll come together at the May meeting, and it's really your choice, and this is a good question to ask also. From your perspective, you could look to approve your preliminary budget that goes off to the county. You could do it in May, or you could do it in June. I would probably suggest doing it in June, only because we'll have an additional month of actuals. You'll get a little bit closer to having a feel for where you're at, and you'll still have plenty of time to adopt your budget 60 days later in August. The only benefit of doing it is in May, you adopt it a little bit earlier. You know, if anybody's, yeah, so that would be my suggestion, but that doesn't change the fact that we can discuss the budget going into it. The copies of the invoices itself. So did they show up did they show up in previous agenda packages? Oh. Oh, I'll find out. I'll talk to you offline also just to get some specifics. So, Ron, to answer your question, if we look through the expenditure report, looks like right now your year-to-date budget is 306,000. Your actual is 300,000. Your spend. So you're, basically right on track for the most part. What's that? Yeah, you're doing good for this year. The only thing I would say is, and we've talked about this, just as we come up with bigger projects, we just have to be careful. Yeah. So, but that's it, because right now, any of those that are off budget items, we're basically hitting contingency, and potentially at least you'd have to pull in reserves or stuff like that. Yep. All right. So we had a motion, a second, some discussion. All in favor? Okay. Next item is supervisor requests and general audience comments. Supervisor, any additional requests right now? No. All right, so we'll go to audience comments, same rules as before. And I'll go to the audience first. Sir? Can you just state your name? Sure.
After they report that the whole out in the bus with driving and a couple got an extra special talking to based on the business. That if this is not resolved, the behavior at the bus stop, that's not really behavior, it's at the bus stop. That's it. But there's all about girls fighting on here. Another incident the same day of the landscape damage, nothing to do with us because there was no footage of it, but the still deal with cops and parents because that same day one of these boys hit a girl in the face with her own phone. So so the point is, they said if this is not resolved the behavior, we have the option of moving the bus stop outside the neighborhood back on the car, and that will protect our assets. So the problem we have to do. So we.
Thank you. Any other audience comments here? Okay, so we'll turn to the teams. If anybody has any questions or comments, if you want to go ahead and raise your hand, and you can unmute yourself. Okay, not seeing any hands up. So then we'll, the next item was the shade session for security camera upgrades. I don't know if we want to do that tonight or table that or.
Table. Okay.
Okay, so we'll table that. We'll get it advertised for the next one also. And that would take us to adjournment. If anybody would like to make a motion. All right, do we have a second? All right, all in favor? All right, meeting is adjourned.